Is my life so boring that this is all I have to do? Yeah, I guess so. I try to fix my grandkids' toys instead of just throwing them away. I try to fix them first if I can. I'm working on two Super Soaker water guns. The problem is the slide handle got really hard to use. You could tell that something was binding within the water gun. So this is what I found. This is the water piston that has a check valve built in it and the filter screen. And as you know, the filter screen would filter the water going into the pump to keep it from clogging up the nozzle. One problem is that the check valve that is right where you see this black index mark was not opening easy enough. The spring tension on it was evidently a little too strong. You can see where I've already cut this apart, repaired it, and glued it back together. I make index marks so that I can put things back together exactly as they were. I used super glue to glue these two parts back together, and here I'm holding them in the right position for 30 seconds. If the spring tension on this slide is too much, it will tend to suck air when you work the slide trying to load this gun. I think that is a design flaw. You may or may not need to make this repair. This is the pump assembly, showing the nozzle. You can see where I put some black electrician's tape around where I've repaired the check valve just to ensure I don't have a leak. This is where the main problem is. This O-ring you see on this piston that goes into the pump assembly, the O-ring gets dry and causes it to bind. I was able to reuse this O-ring, but should you need a new one, you can get one at the hardware store or auto parts store. The reason I had to take a photo of this piston inside this gun is that one of the screws on my slide handle broke off. It was so rusted, and I had to glue the slide handle back together. So I had forgotten to take a photo of this piston, and in order to do that I had to leave it in the gun. You can still take it apart partially with the gun partially together. I used petroleum jelly on this O-ring. You could also use pure silicone grease like plumber's grease available at the hardware store. And here's another view of that piston, and you can see the slide handle, the red slide handle through the other end of the piston assembly. And this shows the check valve after I cut the check valve apart. And this is the rubber check valve and a stainless steel spring. This spring would rust away quickly had it not been stainless steel. And here is another view of that taken apart. I cut a little off the end of this spring to reduce tension and bent the end of the coil to where it would be flat. So here is the spring and the part that I cut off. Another view. The check valve spring goes in the end of the pump assembly, and the check valve goes towards the water tank. You can see the black check valve beneath this screen. This screen is really easy to leave out. Use a little bit of your lubricant to hold that in place while you slide the tank into it. In this photo you can see the black O-ring on the tank assembly where the pump assembly slides over it. The three longest screws holds the slide handle together. The medium length screws hold the body of the water gun together. And this is where the one very short screw goes. Thanks for watching my moment of insanity. See ya!